Good morning. This is Dr. Candies, CIS 300. This video is just a brief introduction to your course on Blackboard. So I'm just going to click through and briefly talk about some of the issues that you'll need to know about. I expect you to spend some time reading through in a lot more detail than I'm going to present in this quick video. So you're in the CIS 301 section, and I'm going to look at the student view, the view that you see. I just have a couple of links so far. This is a new course that has never been taught before quite like this, so it's still in development. But we have enough information here for the first couple of sessions of class. Your syllabus is in a Word document, so it will open up Microsoft Word. I expect you to read this in detail and understand. If you have any questions, please contact me. But I'll just mention a few things today, just some of the more important things that come to my mind. Number one, the best way to contact me really is through my Delta State email address, as opposed to the Blackboard mail. Although I do see the Blackboard mail, but I read my email every day of the week. And Blackboard, not so. Office hours by appointment, but again, email is the best way to reach me. I've got the course description. That hasn't changed from the catalog. What has changed is the textbook. I've got a new textbook. It's short. It shouldn't be too expensive. I don't know what the bookstore charges for it, but it is cheaper than the former textbook, and it's a much more focused textbook. It's not a general MIS, but it focuses on, as the title indicates, it focuses on business processes and the information systems, the management information systems, concepts that go along with that. The course objectives. Let me say something else about the text. If you buy the textbook from the bookstore, you should get an access code along with the book. We do have a new bookstore, or a new company running the bookstore, and they seemed a little confused when I ordered the book, so they may not have that access code with the book. If they don't, it's really not a problem, because you can buy the access code for, I think it's $9.95, $10 when you first start using the textbook website. I'll explain a little bit more of that in a few minutes. The course objectives, I won't read through now, but you read through. But if you notice, there is a certain amount of emphasis, and this is new, on what's called enterprise resource planning. Most people refer to that as ERP, enterprise resource planning. Basically, it's software that large corporations use to track everything they do, from ordering materials for their warehouse, for manufacturing, the selling of the goods, all the accounting issues that are involved in the supply chain management and so on. It's really excellent, but somewhat difficult software to use. We will be spending approximately 30% of the course on these concepts, and that's what the textbook emphasizes. The common professional components, this is what we are required to do for all business core courses, so this is approximately what a percentage of concepts or issues will be covering in the course. I have put anything that has to do with ERP in bold, just so it kind of stands out, but this is supposed to add up to about 30 or over 30%. I've got ERP, SAP. Now, what that is, and you'll hear the word or the term SAP quite often. This is a large software company similar to IBM. People refer to it as SAP. It's not called SAP. It's SAP, which stands for Software Application Products, kind of a boring name. They're actually trying to change their name to something more exciting and marketable. But anyway, it's still called SAP. They make a lot of business products that again, are used internationally, a lot in Europe and more in the United States. The College of Business at Delta State has joined what's called an SAP University Alliance. So along with a few hundred other universities across the country, actually internationally, college courses are including this SAP material so that students will have an understanding of kind of the new way of dealing with big business from the information systems point of view. And what the reputation is that, you take a few courses, and our College of Business is planning to have several courses with 30% material. We're just starting this semester, and actually CIS 300 is the introduction to this. So you'll be learning about SAP, and that's what the textbook website, which I'll show you about in a few minutes, has simulations where you are using screens, various input forms and output reports that look like, they're not actual SAP, but they look like they're simulating the SAP environment. So you sort of get some experience of how to use the software, and we're hearing that companies are really hiring people who have some SAP experience or at least knowledge of. So that's what SAP is. Here's something, of course, you're very concerned with, the grading system. Your final average is based on some assignments, which are research papers. I'll explain that in a lot more detail. And you have some exams throughout the semester, and then a number of small problems, which add up to 100 points, total of 500 points for the semester. Grading scale is your basic 90% of 500 is an A, and 80% is a B, and so on. Attendance in an online class, not attendance, but logging on to Blackboard in a regular fashion, a couple of times a week, is really beneficial. My experience with online classes is that I do have a number of people who like working at their own pace and really do well. I get several A's every semester. Unfortunately, I also get several F's, more F's than I have in a regular class, because people, I guess they just procrastinate. Well, I know they do, because I can tell when they log on. We can track when you log on. And people tend to, wait till the end of the semester, and they just can't catch up. And I do have a lot of failures in this. And some of you may be taking this course for the second or even third time. So again, just log on to Blackboard and keep up. And, I'm going to use the calendar. Just keep up with the due dates and so on. I've got the plagiarism cheating policy from the student handbook, and basically it's just do your own work, especially when it comes to your research reports. Don't just copy and paste. You need to read articles and summarize in your own words. Of course, you'll quote some and paraphrase some, but you don't just copy and paste. If you do, I can tell. We have a website that we submit papers to, just like in the English department, and they can tell when papers have been either copied from articles or from other students, which happens sometimes. So if you want to spend some time, submit your paper and then end up with a 0, just go ahead and copy and paste. Hopefully you won't do that more than once. I do have a note that we're required, if you have any issues, disabilities and so on, just contact Dr. Houston, and here's his phone number. He's a really good guy, and he'll help you out with those issues. Okay, going back to the Blackboard environment, to the home page, I want to talk about these two other links. One, this is something new. Not many teachers are using this. This is something that is kind of an additional program or product that's added into Blackboard, and it's a more, I guess, modern version of Blackboard where the instructor can have videos and can write on a whiteboard and so on. So we'll be using this somewhat during the semester. Let me just show you what that looks like. The very first time you go to that, you'll be entering a room. Now, I don't have any lectures recorded yet, but they will be down here in this area called the archive, and you can click on one of those and go to that. You'll be entering the room, but entering the classroom. But the first time you must run the setup wizard. If you try to go right into the room, it will make you do the setup wizard first. So you can't get into the room until you do that. I'll just show you what that looks like. I won't run through the whole thing, but basically it's checking to see whether you have pop-ups blocked, whether you have the right version of Java, and so on. So you'll start the simulation, and it does one at a time. And if there's a problem, and I won't run through this all because it takes several minutes, you'll have to fix the problem before you can enter the room. And of course, we have OIT, which you can call 846-4444 for help if you have any issues. So that's WIMBA. I don't know what WIMBA stands for. It's probably some kind of acronym. I should check that out. The other link I have now is this SAP simulations, which I mentioned in the syllabus. Your textbook publisher has some really great exercises out there for you to use, and the kind of, well, they are based right from the textbook. The textbook talks about the concept, and then you can go do the exercises to sort of be in the SAP environment. So what this does is takes you out to a separate web page, the Wiley Plus web page, and it's quite easy to use. You're just you have to register for a class, and the very first time you have to sign up and so on, and of course you'll have to either enter your access code or purchase one. So you search for your school and then click here. You notice there are a couple of teachers, geography, it's like mostly geography and CIS is using this. The CIS particular link that you want is the CIS 300. Some of these others I kind of use for practice and so on, but the CIS 300 is the one to use for this semester. You might sometimes see Miss Dr. Ziegelmeyer's name, because she's the one who initially set this up. So, but don't worry about that. These are my courses. I just kind of piggybacked onto her initial setup. Anyway, you'll go to this, and it will ask for user ID and so on. But you'll have to, at that point, purchase. I think it's $9.95. Now, why isn't this working? I'm not quite sure what's going on here. So this can, oh, here we go. I just didn't click hard enough. So once you have an account, you just put your email and your password there. To create an account, you start here, and of course you agree to the terms and so on, and just go through that. Somewhere they're going to try to get some money from you, unless you have the access code. Wait, $9.95, not too bad. So if you have the access code, it goes right here. If you don't have the code, you have to go through this with a debit card, credit card, and you'll get your registration code, and from now on you'll be able to use that. So that's what the SAP simulation link is all about. And really, for today, that's about it. So let me stop here, and please email me if you have any questions. It should be, I say should be, but computers, just like automobiles, sometimes you get a flat tire, sometimes they won't start. You have to know what you're doing.